So the other cases that we have to deal with are when we have transition metals. Most of the transition metals can have more than one charge. So we need to express that somehow in the name, because if we have a metal like iron, which can have different charges, just saying iron chloride isn't enough. It doesn't tell me which version of iron we're talking about in each case. So titanium is a metal. How do I know what the charge of titanium is in this compound? Well, the trick is that I know that the second element is bromine, which I'm going to call bromide in the compound. Bromine has a charge of -1. And according to the formula, there are 3 bromines in this formula, which means the total negative charge is -3. That means that the total positive charge has to be +3. There's only one titanium in this compound, which means that the titanium has to have a charge of +3. So you take the total negative charge, that has to be the total positive charge, and then the way you figure out the charge of the actual ion is divide the total positive charge by any number that appears next to that first element. In this case, it's 3 divided by 1, which is 3. So to show that in the name, I write a Roman numeral 3 in parentheses in the middle, and this would be called titanium 3 bromide. That tells me that this titanium ion has a charge of +3. Okay, so here's another one. Copper 3 phosphide. Okay, so we've got copper and we've got phosphide. What I need to know is, what is the charge of that copper ion? Well, phosphorus has a charge of -3. There's only one phosphorus ion, so that means the total charge is -3, which means that the total charge on the other side has to be +3. And here's where you need to check back. This is where the subscript matters for the name. In the other ones it didn't matter for the name, but for these it does. So since the total charge is +3, and we're going to divide that by the subscript in the formula for the metal, there are 3 coppers. Okay, so that doesn't mean it's copper 3 in the name, it means there are 3 coppers. Well, if we take the +3 charge, divide it by the 3 from the formula, we get 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So this is copper 1 phosphide. Sn is the symbol for tin. Se is the symbol for selenium. So this is going to be tin. And this one's a little bit tricky. Selenide. There are 2 seleniums. Selenium has a charge of -2. But since there are 2 of them, that means the total negative charge is 4. That means the total positive charge has to be 4. There's only one tin, so 4 divided by 1, this is tin 4 selenide. We don't talk a lot about charges that are more than 3, but some of these ions, the metals, can have charges of 4, 5, 6, even up to 7. You just have to go with whatever charge you need, and then divided by the number up here. If the charge was 7 and there was only one atom up here, it would be tin 7 selenide. But we're not there yet. Okay, so now we're given the name and we have to work out the formula. This is actually easier because the number in the middle tells me the charge of the first element. So it's cobalt, and the Roman numeral 3 means it has a charge of +3. It doesn't mean there are 3 of them, but it means they have a charge of +3. And then oxygen, which is oxide, has a charge of -2. So to make the charges work, I move the 3 over to the oxygen, I move the 2 to the cobalt, and I get CO2O3, cobalt 3 oxide. Would have a formula of CO2O3. That gives you a charge of +6 and a charge of -6. Vanadium 5 sulfide. All right, so we're going to have V, that's vanadium, and we're going to have sulfur, which is sulfide. Well, if it says vanadium 5, that means it's vanadium with a +5 charge. Sulfide has a -2 charge. The only way to make this work out is to get them both to 10. That's the smallest number that these both go into. Well, it's simple. If I put a 5 there, 5 times 2 is 10. And if I put a 2 here, 2 times 5 is also 10. So the total positive and total negative charge comes out to 10 in both. So there's your formula, V2S5. Lead 2 nitride. Okay, lead is Pb. The 2 tells me that it's Pb2 plus. Nitride is nitrogen. Nitrogen has a charge of -3. Switch the numbers. 3 leads, 2 nitrogens, and you get Pb3N2 as your formula. Titanium 2 selenide. Well, titanium in this case has a +2 charge. Selenium, which is selenide, has a charge of -2. When the numbers match, then you only need one of each. Yeah, I could switch the numbers and you'd put 2 and 2, but then you'd do the extra step because you always want to have the simplest ratio. So the way to simplify that would be 2 and 2, they're both divisible by 2. So you would rewrite that as TISE, and you just need one of each. So the shortcut is, if the charges match, just put one of each. Just write the symbols together.